Making headlines this hour, President Dr. Moise condemns the seizure of the Global Sumud Flotilla, an international convoy carrying humanitarian aid to Gaza, after it was intercepted in international waters. President Dr. Moise pledges to launch a project to construct at least 3,000 new housing flats in Mali City before the end of the year, casting the initiative as a response to one of the country's most urgent challenges. And Ambassador of China to the Maldives announces that 3 major infrastructure projects funded through Chinese grant aid are set to begin practical implementation very soon. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Idham Naim. President Dr. Mohamed Moise condemns the seizure of the Global Sumud Flotilla, an international convoy carrying humanitarian aid to Gaza, Palestine, after it was intercepted in international waters. He described the action as an unacceptable act of intimidation against unarmed civilians. The president said the flotilla's mission was strictly humanitarian, intended to deliver essential supplies to Palestinians in Gaza who have long been deprived of their basic rights. He described the passengers as unarmed civilians and insisted that the seizure of their vessels could not be accepted. The Global Sumud Flotilla is a multinational initiative organized by citizens from 44 countries, including the Maldives. Its aim is to break the blockade of Gaza and provide humanitarian assistance to Palestinians living under Israeli occupation. The convoy includes more than 500 activists, among them members of parliaments and lawyers from various nations. Ibrahim Shahs, Secretary General of the Maldives-based International Aid Campaign, is also participating in the mission. Organizers said Israeli forces boarded and halted 13 vessels belonging to the convoy, while another 30 ships remain en route to Gaza. They reported that the interception led to arrests and the obstruction of the convoy. Activists released videos that showed armed Jewish soldiers boarding the ships, describing their detention as an illegal crime. President Moise accused Israel of repeatedly disregarding human dignity. He urged the international community to intervene. The president concluded by reaffirming the Maldives' support for the Palestinian people. President Dr. Mohamed Moise pledges to launch a project to construct at least 3,000 new housing flats in Mali City before the end of the year, casting the initiative as a response to one of the country's most urgent challenges. The announcement came during a gathering of ruling People's National Congress (PNC), which drew a large audience of government supporters, senior officials and party members. In his address, President Dr. Mohamed Moise underscored his determination to fulfill campaign promises across multiple sectors, identifying the shortage of adequate housing as a critical issue not only in the capital but also across the atolls. He also sought to reassure citizens who had received land and flats under the previous administration, confirming that those allocations would remain unchanged. New housing projects, he underscored, are intended to provide solutions to shortages in both Mali and the outer islands. The president used the occasion to restate his broader priorities for governance and economic stability. He highlighted his pledge to manage the nation's finances responsibly, vowing to meet both foreign and domestic debt obligations without resorting to debt monetization. He added that he remained mindful of the promises he had made to the people and assured the public that his administration would continue to deliver on its commitments in collaboration with the government ministries, state-owned enterprises, and the wider public. The PNC gathering, the first of its kind in some time, drew a significant turnout of party members and government supporters. The audience included the Speaker of Parliament, cabinet ministers, and senior party figures. During the event, President Moise also formally welcomed new members into the party, accepting their membership forms in a symbolic gesture of political consolidation. President Dr. Mohamed Moise announces plans to launch a new tourism venture in Hankhede Addo city. To expedite this initiative, the president has repealed the designation of Hankhede as a tourism real estate development project zone, which had been leased to the Maldives Fund Management Corporation MFMC under a presidential decree issued on 2nd September 2021. This repeal was formalized on Wednesday through a new presidential decree. With this decision, the Hankhede area has been placed under the Ministry of Tourism and Environment for its dedicated development as a tourism destination. Following Hankhede's designation as a tourism real estate development project zone in 2021, the Hankhede Integrated Tourism Development Project was introduced by MFMC as an ambitious plan to develop the island with resorts, hotels and residential facilities. The project was aimed at diversifying tourism in Addu and attracting large-scale investment. However, progress stalled in recent years and questions were raised about the project's real estate-driven model. President Dr. Mohamed Moise nominates new non-resident envoys to Kazakhstan and Mauritius. During the parliament sitting on Thursday, the two nominations have been formally referred to the Parliamentary Foreign Relations Committee for vetting and approval. This referral marks the initial legislative step required to confirm the nation's diplomatic envoys as ambassadors and designated non-resident representatives must receive parliamentary approval before assuming their duties. The President has nominated Aishat Azima, the High Commissioner of Maldives to India, to concurrently serve as the non-resident ambassador to Kazakhstan. Concurrently, Masood Imad, who currently serves as the Maldivian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, has been nominated to take on the additional accreditation as the non-resident ambassador to Mauritius. The process mandates that the President can officially appoint ambassadors only after the committee has thoroughly reviewed the candidates and a successful confirmation vote has been held among the majority members of Parliament. The Parliament initiates the review of President Dr. Mohamed Moise's nominations for the National Integrity Commission NIC and the Tax Appeal Tribunal. The nominations, which aim to fill imminent vacancies and ensure the continued functioning of these vital public bodies, have been promptly referred to their respective standing committees for vetting. The initiative comes as the terms of 4 members of the 5-member NIC established to strengthen oversight of law enforcement agencies are due to expire on the 26th October. Following a public application opening, the President nominated Shoaib Abdul Rahman, Shifaz Ali, Ali Muhammad Manik, and Fatmat Sharif for appointment to the NIC, with the matter now before the Parliamentary Independent Institutions Committee. The President is also looking to fill the 2 vacant posts on the Tax Appeal Tribunal, an agency responsible for adjudicating tax cases under the Administrative Taxation Act. 7 candidates were put forward for the 2 positions, one of which is designated for a member of the legal profession. Among the nominees sent to the Parliament include Mahaz Ali Zahir, Ashia Azima, Ibrahim Afif, Shifaz Ali, Fatmat Naushan, Ahmad Yamin and Shaufa Ibrahim. The candidates will be assessed by the Judiciary Committee of Parliament before final confirmations are made. We will be back after a short break.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدًا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقامًا محمودًا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
PSMಗೆ ಟಿವಿ ಚಾನೆಲ್ತಕ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಚಾನೆಲ್ತ ಮಿಹಾರು PSM Air ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ನು ತಿಯ ಬೇಫ್ರುನ್ನ ಹಿಲೆ ಬಲಾಲೆವೇನೆ ಅದಿ ಅಡುವ ಹಾಲೆವೇನೆ ದುನಿಯೆಗೆ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ತಾಗುಹುರೆಗೆನ್ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ಗಡಿಯಕು PSMಗೆ ಚಾನೆಲ್ತ ಬಲಾಲುಮ ಅವಹ PSM Air ಆಪ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕುರವ್ವ ಮಿಹಾರು ಆಪ್ ಸ್ಟೋರುನ್ನ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ ಮಿ ಆಪ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕೊಲ್ಲೆವೇನೆ
ರಾಜ್ಯಗ ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಆಮು ಬಲಿತಕಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಬ ಬಲಿ ಜೈಫೋರಿಕನ್ ದೆನಗಣ್ಣಾಣಿ ಕೀನೆ ಬಲಿಗೆ ಅಲಾಮೆತ್ತಕಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಬ ಬಲಿನ್ ರಕ್ಕಾತಿರುವುಮ ಕುರೆವೇನೆ ಕಂತತಕಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಬ ಮಿ ಹುರಿಹಾ ಸುವಾಲಿಗೆ ಜವಾಬ್ ಹೋದುಮ ಹಾಸ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕಾಯಕೋ ಆನ್ ಕಾಲ್
Welcome back. You're watching PSM News in English with me, Dhanai. Ambassador of China to the Maldives, Kong Jianhua, announces that 3 major infrastructure projects funded through Chinese grant aid are set to begin practical implementation very soon. The ambassador shared the progress updates during a ceremony marking China's 76th National Day, emphasizing the swift development of the partnership initiated earlier this year. Ambassador Kong confirmed that the preparatory work for the projects has advanced significantly since agreements were solidified during President Dr. Mohamed Moise's state visit to China in January 2024. These initiatives leverage grant assistance from the Chinese government and are intended to bolster health services and local governance across the archipelago. The three primary projects highlighted by the ambassador include the establishment of the China-Maldives Friendship Hospital in Vilimale, a comprehensive road development project covering key urban areas, and the construction of new council offices in 50 islands. The most substantial initiative is the new 112-bed hospital in Vilimale. The government expects the facility to significantly expand health services within the Greater Male area, providing enhanced convenience services for residents. Additionally, the council building project aimed at improving administrative infrastructure is moving forward, with official survey teams from China anticipated to conduct necessary feasibility studies ahead of construction. The ambassador noted that while the projects are progressing steadily, their implementation will start separately according to their respective scopes and preparations. Wall Street's main stock indexes rises with strong support from the healthcare sector, despite weaker than expected private payrolls data and uncertainty around the first day of the U.S. federal government shutdown. With the Labor Department's September jobs report expected to be postponed if the government has not reopened, investors were paying close attention to the ADP National Employment Report. ADP showed a decline in private payrolls of 32,000 and a downwardly revised 3,000 decline in August. These numbers were weaker than economist forecasts for growth of 50,000 in September and their prior report of a 54,000 advance in August. Elsewhere in economic data, the Institute for Supply Management showed U.S. manufacturing edged toward recovery in September. After opening lower, all three main U.S. indexes advanced. Among the S&P 500's 11 major industry sectors, the biggest gainer was S&P 500 healthcare, boosted by pharmaceutical companies. The healthcare rally had started in earnest after Pfizer and U.S. President Donald Trump said they had cut a deal. The drug maker agreed to lower prescription drug prices in the medical program compared to its charges in other developed countries in exchange for tariff relief. Trump said he expected more drug companies to follow suit. The S&P 500 gained 22.74 points or 0.34% to end at 6,711.20 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 95.15 points or 0.42% to 22,755.16. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 43.21 points or 0.09% to 46,441.1. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen says that there was a hybrid war going in Europe right now as leaders of more than 40 countries meet in Copenhagen to discuss the future of the continent. The day prior, European Union leaders backed plans to bolster the bloc's defenses against Russian drones as they met in the Danish capital days after airspace intrusions by unmanned aircraft rattled the Nordic nation.
There is not only hybrid attacks, there is a hybrid war going on in Europe right now. It is part of rearming ourselves, because when I say rearming Europe, it means also make a more robust European society. I think we have to focus, of course, on the cyber attacks and the risk of sabotage and anti-drone capacities, and therefore it was good that we had discussions with the European Union yesterday about building a kind of a drone war that can be used, of course, especially when it comes to hybrid war.
European authorities have accused Russia of brazen violations of the region's airspace, including with recent incursions by drones over Poland and fighter jets over Estonia. Austin Wells delivers a tie-breaking single with 2 outs in the 8th inning, lifting the New York Yankees to 4-3 victory over the Boston Red Sox in Game 2 of their American League Wildcard Series. The Yankees avoided elimination and forced a decisive Game 3 in New York, with the winner advancing to face the top-seeded Toronto Blue Jays in the AL Division Series. Boston reliever Garrett Whitlock allowed the pivotal hit after walking Jazz Chisholm Jr. with 2 outs in the 8th. Well connected on a full count changeup, sending the ball down the right field line, allowing Chisholm to score from first base with a head-first slide just ahead of the throw from right fielder Nate Eaton. New York's Ben Rice opened the scoring with a 2-run homer in the first inning of Boston starter Brian Bello and added another hit in his postseason's debut. Aaron Judge extended the Yankees' lead with an RBI single in the 5th. Boston's Trevor Story drove in all 3 runs for the Red Sox, including a 2-run single in the 3rd and a game-tying solo homer in the 6th. Yankees starter Carlos Rodon allowed 3 runs on 4 hits over 6+ innings, striking out 6 and walking 3. The New York bullpen shut down Boston over the final 3 innings, highlighted by Fernando Cruz escaping a bases-loaded jam in the 7th and Devin Williams initiating a key double play in the 8th. David Bednar struck out 2 in the 9th to earn his first career postseason save. Boston's pitching staff struggled, with Bello lasting just 2 1/3 inning, allowing 2 runs on 4 hits before being pulled. 6 relievers combined to cover the remaining innings, but the Yankees capitalized on the early pitching turnover. Out in the fields near Pakistan's city of Muridke in Punjab province, rice farmer Karamat Ali's cows and buffaloes once provided his family with milk until earlier this year, when he sold about a dozen of them to buy a set of solar panels. Ali now uses his panels to power a tube well, which is composed of a water well and a motorized groundwater pump. The solar device allows Ali to irrigate his crops with greater ease and frees him from depending on the erratic electricity grid and a pricey diesel to extract groundwater. As Pakistan undergoes a solar revolution fueled by cheap Chinese-made panels, farmers like Ali are increasingly ditching diesel and grid power for sun-powered tube wells, according to interviews with growers as well as government officials and analysts. The solar boom has coincided with the rapid depletion of water tables in Pakistan's most populous province, according to previously unreported Punjab Water Authority documents viewed by media. The documents did not pinpoint any cause. Farmers who spoke to Reuters said they had started irrigating their rice paddies several times a day, which would not have been possible without solarized pumps. U.S. Department of Agriculture data shows farmers are also choosing to grow more thirsty rice crops than in previous years, with the size of rice fields increasing 30% between 2023 and 2025. Meanwhile, federal and provincial officials have started to pay more attention to the slow boiling crisis, especially after India suspended its participation in an accord governing the sharing of water from the critical Indus River system earlier this year. Punjab began aquifer recharge pilots which aim to slow depletion and ensure stable groundwater supply at more than 40 sites before India's April move, though officials said such projects have grown in importance since. The province is also reviving old infrastructure such as the Ravi Siphon, a colonial-era tunnel that helps stabilize flows from the Ravi River. Officials hope that improving conventional irrigation methods will reduce the need for farmers to extract groundwater. That concludes news for now. Thank you for watching PSM News. Have a good day.